we're here with Sophie Habsburg, who started off as a model and eventually became a fashion designer with bags. And so, Sophie, how did you start? How was the transition from being a model to a fashion designer?
Well, it's a long transition because in between there were children, family, and all the normal things a woman does, and sort of at 30. And I think then at some point I got bored also being a lot at home with the children. I said I want to do something which doesn't bring me too far out from home, and where I can play around with what I always loved, which is decoration and colors and materials, etc. So I started making bags for myself with a little man here in town. And well, that had a huge success. The first friend wanted one, the second one, the third one. So I said, okay, this is a little opening for perhaps a future business. And so I started creating actually my first tiny line of, I think it was 3 bags, which sold immediately. And from there then, I think more or less the friends, my husband, everybody around me sort of said, come on, throw yourself, start a business.
So when you started your business, what difficulties did you encounter, and what advice would you give to people who want to start up a business like yours?
I think the main advice probably is start small, start slow, don't jump into too big waters. Start with a small collection, try it out, and then grow with how you grow inside. I think that's what saves you of many big problems, although you will always find problems.
So don't think too big when you're working.
Well, I think the end thought should always be big, but take it step by step. Small mistakes, small moments.
And who would you say has most inspired you in doing bags? Did you get any help from for instance, your daughter who's 17? Did she help you out during the collections, or was it more yourself and it's more your style?
No, I think everybody inspires you, especially children. The younger they are, the better sometimes, because they sort of just have a very clean, clear sort of answer, sort of saying, Mommy, this is awful, start all over again, which is positive. Negative is very positive. And naturally all the friends around, each one gives you some opinion, and then you make your own final decision.
And who would you say has most inspired you the most? Did you have an icon, like for instance when you were modeling, which one did you prefer? Do you have a style that you kind of follow?
No, I think the basic, I think from the bags is always my schooling of architecture and decoration. Okay. So it's the use of mixtures of materials, colors, embroidery, not embroidery. That's, I think, my strength, let's say.
So how did your family heritage and your travels influence your style?
I think both influenced greatly my style, in the sense that from family heritage, apart that my grandmother already had a shop, having been exiled and no money, so she had to start designing and doing a shop, which for me as a child was very important to see her creations, etc. Travel, I think wherever I've been, and I've been traveling a lot, I think, in my life, you always pull out something, if it's designs, antique designs, new things, brand new modern buildings, whatever. I think altogether both things are very important.
And which city would you say has been most influential in your life? Was it Spain, Paris?
Taste-wise, certainly Paris. I think Paris is still number one today. Taste-wise, just if you look, the women, how they dress on the road, the shops, how they show their vitrine, how do you say their
windows.
Their windows. Everything has taste, everything is thought of, every detail is fantastic. So I think that's about the best schooling you can have.
So you would say that in a way your bags are kind of like a mixture between really good taste and a bit of, how would you say, like, between the lines?
I try always to look back also a lot into history. I try to take out old documents, old designs. I do a lot of research. I like also very much the native designs of each country. And then probably mixed with, as you were saying, sort of the today Paris, the today New York, and try and put those two worlds together.
Okay. So why did you start off with, why did you start doing bags rather than any other accessory?
I think bags, the main reason is that I never found the bag which suited me. Or it was much too expensive, wonderful, etc., but I didn't want to spend that kind of money. And on the media market, sort of the middle price bags, I didn't find anything original. So I said, okay, let's try and find something, use some fantastic materials and reinterpret certain classics. I think that's really the basic where I started.
And you do your bags, where do you do your bags?
I have them all made in Naples, so it's all sort of made in Italy.
Made in Italy and handmade?
All handmade, yeah.
And which kind of materials do you like using most?
Really anything. It's more, I think, more interesting the mixture of materials than actually which material you're using, and the mixture of colors and textures. So it could be anything.
So where do you sell your bags most, and where is your market open to, which countries, and do you adapt yourself to your clients in a way?
I would say good markets for me are Asia and America. Europe at the moment is weaker. I don't try to adapt. I tried it, and every time I sort of say, okay, the Japanese prefer this kind of style, I would try and go with this one, I lose myself. I find it's very important to stay with what you are, and if they don't like it, well, somebody else will like it.
Yeah.
So I prefer to stay true to myself and say, okay, that's my style.
So you don't get influenced by also the trends and stuff like this, you just go on with your...
No, you always do a bit, because there's a color trend of the year, there is the big bag, the small bag, the hard bag, the soft bag, so you do logically, even without wanting it, just by looking at magazines or what's going on, you will be influenced.
But your style does not get corrupted by these?
I hope not. No, I think I lose myself. If I try to adapt myself to somebody from outside, I lose myself, and then the quality is never that what I want.
Would you tell us a funny anecdote that has happened to you in your life while you were either designing or modeling?
Many which I can't tell. Actually, talking about bags, I think one of the anecdotes which was quite funny, first time showing in Paris at the fair, and I was terribly excited arriving with all my bags just ready, finished, and etc. We built up the stand in the evening, and the next morning my cousin and me, when we arrived at the stand to show our beautiful creations, we took off the paper and suddenly there was nothing underneath. He had stolen the whole collection.
And where was this?
So I was half crying, sort of going, oh my God, and now? And my cousin just looks at me and says, they seem to love your bags. They even adore them. They stole them. So, okay, that was it. So when the clients arrived, we had to show with our iPads and iPhones what we would have had on this table.
And when did this happen?
In Paris.
Where, before you said that it was very elegant and...
Because it was the fair. It was the fair at Hanoi.
Okay. So thank you, Sophie, for the wonderful time, and I hope to see you with your next collection the next fall.
Definitely. You have to keep up with me.
Yes.